I believe it when I see a girl. All right, so is anybody watching the Corey Richards trial? Anybody? Is anybody watching it? Y'all are watching it? Did y'all watch the guy from yesterday? I haven't finished him, but I want to finish him. The PI. Let's see. I want to listen to...
And you would sit outside her house and... The frame of the safe. Before I could get up to Francis to get that computer... In the office and put it in your Tesla and drove away with it. I don't recall that, no. I do not. A computer company at the request of C&E, the hard drive contents were transferred to
this is the PI
drive
that his family hired.
The computer. Okay. So can we play for the witness?
I like the PI
clip TG10.
Do you not believe that he did it?
We're gonna play without sound, right?
Yes, sir. No sounds necessary.
Okay.
Or do you not believe that she did it?
I'm gonna kind of wait till we get to the computer part. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Can we bring that one down? That's the next one. We want to go to the one right before that, which is...
Hi, Mandy.
It's GXO 10073. Do you have that one? Okay.
Excuse me, I'm having difficulty keeping my head up.
Oh, no worries. Whatever you need, sir, to be comfortable. Take a minute. Yep, I'll go back to that. It's going to take her a minute to upload that, Your Honor. So we'll get to that. You don't recall putting electronics, documents in your Tesla and driving away from the house?
Oh, I remember that, yes. But that was not the C&E computer.
Okay, what computer was that?
I don't recall. I'd have to see the video.
So
That's why I make them.
You removed a laptop from the office and put it in your Tesla and drove away with it?
I don't recall that, no. I do not. That would have been my... If there was a laptop in that office, it was mine.
Okay, well, we're going to pull it up in just a minute. I'll have to refresh your memory.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned earlier that you didn't take, other than the vital records and the attorney-client privileged records, that you didn't take anything else out of the home. That's not entirely true. You also took a safe out of the house?
Yeah, I described that by report, but that house, that safe was returned.
Okay, so you went into the house with your own key, correct?
Yes.
You went into the family, I believe is in the master closet, is that right? Where was it?
Yes.
You picked it up, took it out of the house, and put it in your Tesla.
Yes, I believe I did that at the request of Clint Benson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you drove it to a locksmith.
I did.
And you busted into the safe.
I did not bust into the safe.
Well, he did.
He bumped. He used a technique called bumping. It's the movement of the door and the frame of the safe that allows it to come open.
Okay, but you didn't have a combination.
I don't know if that was a combination. I thought there was a key to that one.
It was forced open with a hammer, right?
I think it was a rubber mallet, and it was dropped onto the ground.
Okay.
I think that's what eventually got it opened, was that it was dropped onto a flat surface.
And when you were doing that, there's no law enforcement there, correct?
I don't need law enforcement to babysit me.
Okay. And you open it up, and there's clips from guns in there, right?
I would have to go back to my report to recall exactly what
Bro,
was in
he's
there.
funny.
But you handled it with your bare hands, no gloves.
I did.
All right. And, I'm sorry. You also found an unusual residue in the safe. Do you recall that?
Hi, Carolyn.
That you touched with your fingers?
I don't recall that.
All right. We'll play that in a second.
Fantastic.
I do think we found the video of the laptop, so can we queue up for the witness only GXO10073?
Yeah, that's my laptop. I am scanning into my laptop the documents that I am going through at the office. That is my laptop.
The black one?
Yes.
Okay. So you're scanning all the documents you're finding in the office and then loading them into your laptop.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And again, Clint Benson was not present when you were doing any of this.
Yes, that is my testimony on direct.
Okay. Now let's go to the one of the safe. Can you pull up the clip 100055?
Thank you,
Hold on
Tina.
just a
Thank you,
moment.
Carolyn.
1055. See if you can find that one. Sorry. I think it might be under the impeachment documents. Nope. Okay. All right, we'll get the safe one up to her.
She has a whole
About
stack
that
of
residue. You don't
impeachment
remember touching
documents.
some
This
residue
lady
and
wants to
filming it
impeach
and asking
every
the
witness
safe
possible.
breaker if that was unusual to find residue in a safe.
I don't
What?
recall that. I would have to refer back to the
Have y'all
video
noticed
that I
that?
made of
The
that
defense wants
for
to
just this
impeach
purpose.
everybody.
Okay. No worries.
I can't fucking stand this lady.
So my understanding is you were at the house. There were some times before you got access to the house while Ms. Riches was still living there that you would sit outside her house and observe the house while she was in it. Is that fair?
It is not fair. That is false.
You never did that?
I never sat outside her house and watched her. False.
Not on March 9th of 2023.
Correct.
Not on April 12th of 2023.
Correct.
But you did put trackers on their cars. Is that right?
I did.
And that's a secret device that you put on someone's car so you can follow where they're going without their knowledge?
So GPS tracking devices are generally covert, and there's good reason for that.
Hi, Amanda.
I put GPS devices on Corey's vehicle and two of Lisa's vehicles, one of which was being used by Corey's brother, Ronnie.
So her mother's cars and her car.
No pimples
And
anywhere
how long
on my
did you track
face
these individuals?
except for here.
I think there were different times for different vehicles.
And look at these
I
lashes.
don't recall
Thursday,
the
I
exact
gotta
amount
get
of
them
time,
done.
but that'll be in the file that you have.
And did you turn over your reports on every single place they went for months to law enforcement?
Yes.
I use
and you
this
know that law
new.
enforcement is required to have a warrant to do that.
Well,
It's almost gone. Well, it is gone.
they have
It's
to get a
just the
warrant,
scarring
and I have
right
to go
now.
through a different procedure that's prescribed by Utah law to appropriately place those devices.
But
Did you track anybody else's car in this case?
my eyes twitching.
I want to say yes. Yes, I did.
Who else's?
There were some vehicles that I suspected that Carmen Lauber may be utilizing.
But I bought this new moisturizer from
But,
Medicube.
I
Oh my
discovered
gosh,
that,
it's
in fact, the vehicle
amazing.
that
It's
was
like
parked at her
jelly,
house overnight
and it goes on so
many
like
occasions
watery,
was
and
being
then it
driven by
dries,
someone else.
and it's
So you never
not
gave
even
that
sticky.
report to law enforcement?
I believe I did.
You gave the
You're
Carmen
drinking
Lauber
coffee?
tracking report to law enforcement?
Yes, wouldn't be
Alani.
named Carmen Lauber though.
What would it be named?
Oh. I want to say.
I'm watching this, the PI from yesterday in Corey Richard's trial.
That were associated
He's
with
funny
our
as fuck.
That's all right. If it's
There was
someone.
Nick Bon Savage. There was and there was an.
He said, "I don't need law
young
enforcement
man who
to,"
was
what did he say?
frequenting
"I don't need
that
law
residence.
enforcement to watch me."
And I believe that vehicle that I tracked from that residence
Hi, Gail.
was seen there overnight on multiple occasions.
He put, "Oh yeah, I don't need law enforcement to babysit me," is what he
The point of
said.
that was to track Carmen Lauber.
He's a
And when I
PI
discovered
that
that it wasn't Carmen driving the
he's
car.
he's the PI that Eric's family hired. Well, his sister hired, basically.
Law enforcement was also providing you.
Right?
I believe you said that Mr. Bloodworth asked you if you got information from law enforcement, and you said no. Is that right?
I think she might get off, dude.
No,
Their defense
that is
is
not right.
trash.
Okay, please correct me.
Well, I would have discussions with law enforcement. I could garner an understanding. I could read between the lines, if you want.
In fact, you went to meetings with law enforcement about this case, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
How many times did you have meetings
Oh,
with them?
yes.
I don't recall. I don't count them.
Okay.
The number is not relevant to me.
Well, you appreciate it might be relevant to me. Can you try to remember?
Half a dozen?
Can you pull up?
She asked a question. He said it ain't relevant. Sorry.
Can you make it bigger?
Utah.
All right, sir. Do you recognize that?
Look, he's smiling.
Can you see it?
I can see it.
Do you recognize it?
I do.
All right, and is that an email that you sent to Detective Woody on July 13th of 2022?
I'm going to have difficulty talking about this exhibit because if it becomes an exhibit, it contains a confidential client communication. But I did send it to Detective Woody.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would object to Mr. Gabler being required to testify regarding any claim.
With respect, I'm not sure you have standing to make any objections, and he seems fully attuned to the issue. Ms. Nestor, I'm not sure where we're headed, so just take it one question at a time.
I shall. Thank you, Your Honor.
It says
Is it
family
fair
PI
to
gets
say
snippy and heated
that
testimony.
this is
So we're
an example
listening to the
of you
snippiness.
suggesting to
This was
Detective
yesterday.
Woody that now would be a really good time for law enforcement to interview Carmen Lauber?
Yes.
And why would that be, sir?
She's on the ropes in drug court is what it says.
Right?
She was on the ropes.
And in fact, what you argued was she would be very likely to be compliant at this point with law enforcement. Is that your words?
Yes.
All right. Also in here, you accuse Corey of lying about the name of her house cleaner.
Yes.
And the lie that you said Corey told was that her house cleaner was her cute cleaner, Norma.
Yes.
In fact, didn't you, sir, finally confirm that Norma Garcia was her house cleaner?
I did later confirm that. Yes.
So when you sent this to police and said Corey was lying, you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Okay.
She's trying to impeach y'all. She has a whole stack of impeachment documents.
Norma.
This lady's trying
Your
to
Honor.
impeach everybody, bro.
For the next question, sir. Thank you.
This
Very good.
bitch got problems.
Did law enforcement give you access to I'm going to try to use the right word,
She don't even know what she's
To-
saying.
folders where you could access their information on like a subfolder?
Hi,
Where you had a
Danielle.
link to their folder?
No.
Did you provide them with links to your folder?
Yes.
And one of the links you provided them involved a download of Eric's phone. Is that right?
No.
Okay. Did it involve the decoded call logs that you talked about earlier where you figured out everybody's number
Thank you,
and name?
Deepan.
I'm confused. You're talking about two separate things. You were just talking about Eric's phone.
You said no, right?
I had an identical copy of Eric's phone that I created from the backup on his Apple iCloud. I may have turned that over to them, but they already had Eric's phone. I didn't need to give them what I had done, which was to trick the Apple server into repopulating a blank iPhone so that I could then forensically examine that iPhone and come up with context from Eric's phone. So I may have given them that information that I created from a clone
Send him
of
roses,
Eric's
y'all.
phone.
So you had in your
Send
possession
him roses.
a clone or an exact copy of Eric Richen's phone.
Bilal
It would
comes
not be an
back.
exact copy.
He makes an
Only
appearance.
the items
Back.
that
No, shh,
were
don't talk.
unencrypted or decryptable from
We're
the
busy.
Apple backup
We're in court.
would be on the cloned phone. For example, encrypted data would not be present for biometrics. For,
Back up.
his Apple Watch, if he was wearing a
Back up.
biometric watch, well, that
Back
is all
up.
encrypted. That would not come back to a new
Back
cloned
up.
phone. But all of the text messaging, the web histories, the
Okay,
call
dance.
histories, all of that stuff will be present on that clone.
So you had access to all his texts?
I don't believe I did.
Good, very good.
Why not?
Very,
And this
very
is maybe
good.
a stupid old lady question, but explain to me why you didn't have access to his texts if you downloaded everything off the
I
cloud.
said all of his texts.
Okay.
I don't believe I ever got all of his texts.
How far back did they go?
I don't recall the date at this time. I would have to refer to the file material to know the exact date of the first event on the phone.
So how much time did you spend reading through his texts?
Well, I don't recall exactly. I could refer back to some records to come up with an answer for you. It would have been a number of hours.
Hundreds of hours?
No,
Okay.
I mean, in this case,
Right.
936.3 hours.
That's how many hours you billed total for the case?
Yep.
And what were you paid for that?
I don't know.
How much do you charge an hour?
$125 an hour. However, that is not the only billing rate in this
He's
case.
rich.
When I used computer forensic software and my expertise in that regard, the rate would be higher. $200 an hour, I think, was the discounted rate.
Isn't
that
this
I
the
gave
guy
them.
that was in Chef's
So
Life?
I'm really bad at math. Please forgive me if I get this
She said
wrong.
she's bad at math and she's an attorney?
We're talking about over $100,000 you made on this case.
Okay.
I would say so, yes.
Okay. Now I want to go back to that phone and you reading his text.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
As you were
money gun,
going through your
money gun,
hypotheses,
please. Money gun,
Obviously, one of the things you want to look at is the state of their marriage. Is
Money
that
gun.
fair?
I mean, it's significant, but it's not
Money gun.
dispositive.
I
It doesn't-
agree.
It's important context, but it's not evidence of anything, really. I see a lot of bad marriages out there. In my career, I've handled many hundreds of divorce cases. So, people have problems.
Did you review text messages between Eric and some of his friends?
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Here's the juicy part.
Did you review text messages?
Money gun, money gun.
Shush. We're busy. Shh.
Bryce Knudsen,
Yes.
I don't recall specifically, but if they were there, I probably looked at them.
Okay. Your Honor, can I have just a moment?
This was sitting here.
Oh. He moves his butt better than y'all. Better than y'all ever will. Don't talk, Bilal. Bilal has new moves, yes. He learned very well. We had practice yesterday and the day before.
When you reviewed Eric's texts, did you find evidence of him sexting with people other than Corey?
I don't recall that. I did investigate allegations of an affair with Eric.
Okay, but that's not my question. My question is, do you recall seeing sexting, as the kids say, on Eric's phone with people other than Corey?
I don't really know what you mean by sexting. I don't know what the parameters of that are. And so my answer is no.
Okay. Did you find any texts where
Money gun.
Eric talked about having an open marriage with Corey?
I don't recall that.
Yes, money gun.
Okay, come back, Bilal. We're
At
busy.
some point, were you investigating cases that were being prosecuted in the Summit County area around the time that Eric died, where people were caught distributing fentanyl?
Yes.
Did you gather affidavits from cases where fentanyl was being sold in the Summit County area?
Yes.
And did you ever follow up on any of those investigations, or did you just stop by gathering the affidavits?
Well, they were plugged into the hypothesis testing matrix. I considered them for their proximity being in Summit County and for them involving fentanyl. In each of those cases, I found no relationship to this case.
Okay. I want to pull up TG2, Katie, just for this witness only. Sorry, I lied about
Bilal,
the time. Going a little
stop
bit longer
spamming
than I'm
Bilal.
close to done.
No problem.
Sir, do you recognize that?
I do.
Is that what you were talking about with Mr. Bloodworth, which is the decoding where you looked at his call records and tried to figure out who he was calling?
It is the record that I referred to when I was talking about it on direct. I agree with that.
And Katie, could we go to the page for the date 2/14/2022 at 12:23 p.m.? It's a ways down. Just a moment, Your Honor.
Of course.
I'm waiting for them to pull up the.
I'm sorry, February 14th. Thank you, Your Honor. At 12:25 p.m.
Well, this is not a record that I created, but I recognize the
The call right above that one.
tone on a different number.
Identify a call that was made by Eric
He's
at
tired of
12:23 p.m. on February 14th.
He's tired of her shit.
I'm confused. We're looking at an invoice record from a carrier, and you're asking me about his phone. Those are two different things.
Did this invoice come from his phone
No,
billing records?
from his from his carrier, from Verizon.
Dancing Mama, I saw you join. If you can go on my site, go all the way to the bottom, press contact me, and send me your address. Thanks, babe. I was trying to find you the other day and I couldn't find you anywhere. So can you contact me on my site so I can get your stuff out?
From his phone. That's a record from his carrier.
Understand.
Two different things.
So according to the bill from his carrier,
Yeah.
he made a call at 12:23 p.m. on February 14th.
Correct.
Objection, there's a 901 problem here.
I'm done with it, Your Honor.
Hold on. You got to approach for a moment, if you would.
To Mexico as part of your... Did you ever make any calls or any trips to Mexico as part of your investigation in this case?
No.
Mexico? The fuck? What is she talking about? Is she okay?
You mentioned you interviewed 45 to 50 people. Somewhere around there, 40 to 50.
Yeah, it's an approximate number. I have no method of calculating that number. It's approximate, based upon my memory.
Did you ever interview Corey?
I did. I spoke to Corey. She called me on January the 19th of 2023.
He remembers.
All right. And she voluntarily spoke to you
She called me.
and talked to you voluntarily?
She did. And I stopped her. I told her it would be inappropriate and unethical for me to continue the conversation outside the presence of her lawyer. I then texted her lawyer and had a phone call with her lawyer about the propriety of her client speaking without her presence.
Okay.
I then
So
requested that Corey submit to an interview multiple times.
All right, stop.
Okay.
Don't reveal what anyone else said to you.
Okay.
The point is, Corey called you to talk to you and tell you her side.
I made it.
Right?
I don't know what her intentions were. She seemed very angry that I had contacted one of her business associates.
Also, y'all,
I believe that was
I'm
the
gonna go
reason
ahead
she called me on
and
that day.
say it because I don't care what anybody
And
thinks.
so you
Just
never,
kidding.
to this day...
Y'all, my entire
have
site
sat
is
down with Corey
20%
and
off
her version
through
of what happened.
tonight.
No, despite
Through
my
tonight.
repeated requests.
Everything is 20% off through
She
tonight.
called you.
And I was bound by the ethics not to talk to her outside the presence
And all
of her
outerwear
lawyer.
is $15
She was a
before
litigant.
discount.
She sued my client.
Okay. And ultimately, as you were working with the trust, did you become
Just look
aware
at the
that the
pinned
trust
post.
filed
And it'll take you
wrongful
where you
death
need to
suit
go.
against Corey?
I am.
And are you aware they're seeking over $10 million in damages against Corey Richens?
I didn't know that. It's irrelevant to me.
Okay. Okay, court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor.
Of course.
Oh, is that right?
Correct.
Any texts with Eric about him and Corey having an open relationship, and you said you could not recall. Is that right?
Correct.
Corey
Can you put that up on the
Richens.
screen, Katie?
I have a sticker up top.
Do you recall looking at that text?
I do. I believe I have. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It is. It appears to me to be a joke.
Did you see the text around this text?
I did.
So you have reviewed the text between Eric and Bryce.
I don't know. I don't know that this is a text from Bryce. I have no idea. This does not identify Bryce.
So
Doesn't
now that
identify anybody.
Now that you have your memory refreshed, do you remember seeing this text between Eric and another individual
It's getting juicy.
saying that Corey and I are starting an open relationship tonight? Right?
It says, Corey and I are starting an open relationship tonight, so I told her I'm taking you home.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You left that out of your report.
No. This would be part of my report.
Did you see sexting between Bryce and Eric when you looked at their texts?
I don't recall that, no.
Katie?
And is this sexting? I don't know what you mean.
No, I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking
Okay.
about other ones.
All right. I don't recall. I'm talking about many hundreds of thousands of messages in this case. I can't recall them all.
Let's see. Just a moment. Court's indulgence for just a moment. Of emails like this or texts like this between Eric and Bryce?
Honestly, no, I don't remember. Like I say, there were hundreds of thousands of messages in this case. I don't remember even 1% of them. As I look at this, I mean, it just makes me laugh. It doesn't appear to be serious.
So how many of these joke sextings did you review that Eric did?
I don't understand this to be sexting. I think you're wrong about that.
Having an
It's
open
just your
relationship
characterization.
and a message is not texting. It's just a statement. This lady
These
is
are
fucking.
two friends joking with each other. That's what I'm reading here.
And they did that all the time,
I don't know.
hundreds of times.
If I had the records, and then I could answer your question, but I don't remember all of these messages. And yeah, this is a joke.
Did you review all of the texts between Bryce and Eric?
I think at one time I would have gone through every single text message that was available to me on Eric's cloned phone. So, do I recall it? Well, I recall that it was a bit mind-numbing. There was a lot there. Nothing particularly stuck out
One
in
of
my
Eric's
mind or
friends.
memory
Did they,
about those messages.
did they repeatedly talk about having sex acts together?
I don't recall.
Did they repeatedly talk about oral sex together?
I don't recall.
Did they talk about anal sex together?
Also don't recall.
But you read them all,
I'm sure that I did.
and it's all joking.
Knowing what I know about Bryce and Eric, yeah, that's how I interpret it.
So you do remember reading things of this nature, and you interpreted it all as joking.
No, as I sit here today, I interpret it that way. I would have interpreted it that way back at my original reading of it. That doesn't mean I recall it. It means I have an opinion about what I thought then. That's different.
And what did you think then? They were joking?
No. What I think now is that this was a joke. I do not have a recollection of this at the time that I first read it, but if I had a recollection of that time, I'm sure it would be the same as it is today.
And if there were these tens of 20s of 50s of these types of emails, all of them would be jokes?
Sustained.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have, Your Honor.
She's just fucking reaching,
With
bro.
anything further from Mr. Gatler?
Fucking
Yes, Your Honor, thank
reaching.
you. The text, there are a bunch of TV's locker room talk from August of 2018.
We're just listening to the PI from yesterday.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna go into today's trial.
Serious read that Eric Richins and Bryce Knudsen
The
were
family's
engaged in
PI,
homosexual
Eric's
affair.
family, has a PI.
0.
In all of the text messages you reviewed, did you see any evidence of Eric using illicit street drugs?
No, I looked and I could not find.
You mentioned legal requirements for a licensed private investigator to place a GPS tracker on a car. What are those legal requirements?
So the statute governing that was adopted a few years ago. It requires that before placing the device, a licensed private investigator must identify
Bye,
the
Joey. Good morning, Diana.
person or persons that are driving that vehicle and potentially the owner of that vehicle, and that they submit a request to query the protected persons database in the state of Utah for any record of those persons that are subject to the GPS tracking. That is designed to keep us from tracking people who have protective orders or temporary restraining orders or...
Okay, just 1 second here.
Text. Lots to cover. Ms. Nestor, I appreciate the email you sent earlier this morning. Should we start with just the state's motion regarding
This is today.
portions of the O'Driscoll interview as clarified by docket 1555 and Ms. Nestor's... You can stay seated. Thank you. Pages 107, qualify, explain, or place into context the stuff that follows.
Mainly because he gives the reason why the whole interview is happening, like what he's doing there and why the interview is happening, and from his perspective, provide a context of how this meeting happened. They're not in the...
Your Honor, there's a distinction between context to the interview and context to particular statements. And while this provides context to the interview, it provides no context.
By the state that I think he... Sure, I wasn't...
with Mr. O'Driscoll if it hasn't already. And she goes into what she's reviewed in terms of the calls between her and
other statements in this interview.
So I think it's a direct continuation of the questioning above it about telephone records and whether
Right.
she has available phone records, and she discusses these records of calls with Chelsea. So I do think it's all one conversation.
Can you point me to specifically, it seems to me that in the preceding pages they're talking about what phones she had access to during what periods of time, when those devices were or were not available to her, which belonged to C&E, which belonged to her.
If you go back just a little further, Your Honor, to page 105, line 15, Detective O'Driscoll starts with, okay, so when was the last time before the night of the 3rd that you talked to Chelsea? Do you think it was the 2nd? And she says, I think it was the 2nd. And he says, when you guys were talking about the anniversary, do you know for sure if it was the 2nd or 3rd? Corey goes into, well, yeah, because actually she sent me all the text messages because they were saying Woody tried to tell Chelsea, which was not true, that Chelsea's the last person I talked to. That's absolutely not true. And that there was some kind of message or something the night of the 3rd. I don't know, but we've pulled all phone records, and Chelsea still has messages on her phone. So none of that is accurate. And then it goes into, do you have those records? They were talking about subpoenas. Do you still have them? And then they start redacting her explanation of how she got these texts and basically that she's looked at them and what they say. So I think you're cutting out the second half of that conversation, which to us is misleading, and we'd like it all in.
Your Honor, may I offer a suggestion?
Yeah.
The state proposes to redact page 105, line 15, all the way down through 107, line 11. So redact the entire portion as it relates to Chelsea Barney.
Okay. That removes the necessity of what follows, Ms. Richards. Ms. Nestor.
It does, except that I think they'd have to go back further because they still have up there where Detective O'Driscoll's basically saying it's weird that your conversations with Chelsea's are deleted. So, I mean, they're just picking the part they like and taking out all the rest of it, right? So they'd have to go back further. If they really want to take out everything about this, it would eliminate my objection, but they'd have to go back to, let's see.
So why don't we go up to 105, line 3?
Okay, let me look at that.
The state still gets the general question on page 104 into 105. It just doesn't focus on Chelsea.
That would fix my objection because then it would just take all of it out.
Well, you're...
For example, just so the record is clear, because we only have an audio record here.
Sure.
We have Detective O'Driscoll asking about whether is it possible things were deleted on your phone? And Ms. Richens saying at 104, line 20, yeah, that's just not possible.
Right. Right, and then he gets into Chelsea starting on page 105. So, right, if they would delete from 3 of 105 all through all of it, then that eliminates my objection because then they're not just putting in half of it and not the other half. But I would withdraw my objection under those circumstances. But if they want half of it in, I want all of it in.
Well, okay, Your Honor, I think we're narrowing in on this, but I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
I think the defendant raises Chelsea, right, at page 105, line 8. It wasn't Detective O'Driscoll. So I think the redactions should begin.
Oh, I see your point.
At
line 15.
Y'all, there was a pew-pew.
Right.
She's using
pew-pewing at my high school
recovery of
yesterday.
information on Chelsea's phone
And guess
as
what?
an
It
explanation
probably
for
didn't
why
make
she
national
wouldn't bother
news,
to delete
huh?
anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Nope.
And I think
So-
there's a distinction
Just local.
between, right here, I think at line 15 is the tipping point where there is a statement about deletions,
Right.
and then at line 15 it tips into a discussion about
literally can
text
see the high
messages
school from
with
my house.
Chelsea in particular.
That's fine, Your Honor, if you want to start at line 15.
Okay, so we will add the following redactions. We will redact line 105, page 105, line 15 through 107, line 11. And that resolves defendant's
No,
request
nobody was
to
hurt though.
unredact
It happened in the bathroom.
pages 107 through
And
112.
so at my high school now, because it's
Scott,
gotten
what
so
kind of fast
bad,
did you
which
get
I live in a good area.
Okay, very
They have
good.
police.
All right.
They have
Anything
the
further on
district
that, Mr.
police
Glover?
in the hallways at all
All right.
times because of this shit happening. And so they apprehended him
15.
immediately when it went off.
Through 107, line 11. All right. That brings us to page 120.
And they arrested him on felony charges.
Line 24
What the fuck is going on? This is boring.
to 121, line 8.
Did anybody not watch
This
the Genesis
is
Reed?
Corey Richens giving Chelsea's phone number to Detective O'Driscoll.
Hey, Adrian.
press conference yesterday? Let me see him. Trying to get a better picture. I didn't watch it. Okay, I'm gonna play it for y'all.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for everybody being here. On February 16th, on February 16th at approximately 3 a.m., Adrian Reed reported to law enforcement that her daughter, Genesis Reed, was gone from the apartment and the exterior door was open. Through the course of our investigation, detectives developed sufficient probable cause to determine that the report was false. On February 17th, Adrian Reed was arrested and charged with false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class C felony, due to the report alleging imminent danger to a person. As investigators continued to follow leads and interview witnesses, information emerged indicating that Genesis had not been seen with Adrian since Christmas Day. Through the careful and methodical work of investigators, we have reached the heartbreaking and horrific conclusion that her mother, her caretaker, the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully murdered Genesis and placed her in a duffel bag and discarded her in a dumpster. Today, March 9th, 2026, Adrian Reed, the mother of Genesis Reed, had been formally charged with capital murder for the killing of a child under the age of 14 and abuse of a corpse. The last confirmed contact with family members occurred on December 25th, when Genesis visited relatives in Dothan for the Christmas holiday. That evening, she was returned to her residence in Enterprise with her mother. During the investigations, detectives obtained camera footage from a neighboring residence showing Adrian walking toward the apartment complex
With her mother.
with a rolling duffel
So does
bag
her mother know?
at 11:30 p.m.
Does her
on Christmas night.
mother know
2
what
days
happened?
later, additional footage captured Adrian returning to the dumpster area carrying toys and other belongings belonging to Genesis.
Was her mother there? Why is her
Today
mother
is
not
especially a heartbreaking day
charged?
for our community. March 9th would have been Genesis' third birthday. The loss of a child, the most precious and innocent members of our society, is something that cannot be ignored and will not be forgotten. The investigation is far from over. Our focus now turns to bringing Genesis home to the community that loved her. The search and rescue process will be long and difficult, but our resolve remains unwavering. We will continue working until Genesis is brought home. At this time, I'll turn it over to Sheriff Byrd, who will provide an overview of the landfill recovery process.
I meant the grandma. I'm talking about the grandma, y'all. Adrian's mom.
Thank you, Chief Moore. This is a sad day in Coffee County.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm confused.
So we have been involved in
Genesis
this case
came back
since
with her mother.
February
Sorry, y'all.
16th. I've had multiple investigators with this office, with them working and throughout this whole entire operation. And early on, I had a gut feeling this is where it went. So I had started initially calling
Listen,
and
y'all.
searching and filling.
Listen.
And we have.
This is the issue here with this case, though. With what evidence that they have, unless they have more, they could have a lot more evidence that proves that it is Adrian, right? But you can charge somebody with murder without a body. That's already known. We know that. But just because I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm going to see it from both sides, okay? I truly believe that Adrian did something to this little girl. I do. But the issue here is that they did not see Genesis. They didn't see Genesis in that bag. They didn't see Genesis in that dumpster. They didn't see Genesis in her arms. So in the court of law, there is no proof that that was Genesis. Okay? I'm just playing devil's advocate. Do I believe that she has a full intent to do what she did? Or what she's being charged with? Absolutely. I do. But that I promise you, why do you think that they are still searching for Genesis? Because they need something to wrap their investigation up 100%. And they need to find her. They need to find Genesis to help them, to help their case, or it might just hurt their case at this point. Do y'all get what I'm saying, though? Because there's no proof that Genesis was, there's no sign of her. Unless there's a witness that saw what happened, right? If there's a witness that saw things that happen, then sure. They have something. But as of right now, they just have a duffel bag, a rolling duffel bag that they allege to be Genesis inside of it that was thrown into a dumpster. So now they're at the point where they are, I'm going to continue playing this, but they're basically needing to search a landfill, and it's like a couple hundred feet by a couple hundred feet and like 10 feet deep of a spot in the landfill that they're going to be searching. And they believe that they are going to find Genesis, which I hope they do, because this will bring a complete, I have full capability that, or I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to say, but I have full strength in them that they can win in this capital murder case. She was not in the suitcase. It was a rolling duffel bag. Same fucking thing. People will put rolling duffel bags. People bring rolling duffel bags on a plane. I call it a suitcase. Same thing. But that's their issue here. Their issue here. Right. That's literally my point. The issue here is that. Good morning.
Hi, I'm new here. What's the topic?
Hi. We're just talking about Genesis Reed.
Yeah, what a beautiful angel, man. What do you think's happening with her right now?
Okay, so I was just telling my point of view on the legal process, the legal aspect of it. And what I think is that I truly believe that Adrian is capable of unaliving her, right? I think that she did what she did and what she's being charged with. But the issue here is that there is no physical proof that Genesis was inside that bag. So they need to find her to wrap up their to make their investigation on point.
Right.
Because right now, the defense is going to sit here and argue, how do you know that was Genesis, right?
True. And there's no DNA to stand by that, right?
Maybe. I mean, we just don't know. There could be a lot of things behind the scenes, but in the beginning, it's kind of yes, we see her toys being thrown away and this being thrown away, but we don't see her physically being thrown away.
All
So
right.
that's why they're at a point to search a certain area inside this landfill, because that's what they need. They know that they need her body to. Now, if there was like an eyewitness that saw everything, that would help their case.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that one. And do we? The question I really had, I think. So Maria, whatever that lady is, that like a made up lady? Like that person never exists or what?
Her name is actually Vanessa.
Oh, so Mariah, whatever that name was, is all a lie.
Yeah, and she's been cleared. She has nothing to do with
Oh,
this.
good. Okay.
Yeah, they questioned her, and she has nothing to do with the case.
All right. I'll see you in a bit. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Ciao.
On her bedroom walls. Yeah, I think they found something inside there, and I think they're charging her with capital murder, because when you commit a crime in the act of committing another crime, that's capital murder. When you commit murder in the act of committing another felony, you're eligible to be charged with capital murder. So her other charge was abuse of a corpse. That is another felony. So at that point, she's deemed to be charged with capital murder. They just have to prove without a doubt that was Genesis inside that bag. And that's why they are so, and I pray to God that they find Genesis, because it's just going to help them so much more in their case. But I feel for her family. I feel for her dad. Had she had stayed with her dad and been able to stay with her dad, none of this would be happening. But hey, custody court is a fucking bitch. And I know that he was trying to get custody of Genesis, so that's just makes it even worse. What are y'all's thoughts? Does anybody want to come up and talk? Have you seen the dad's face? I don't know his name. He thinks she's still alive. I think that's just a grief thing. Like, I think that's just probably an instinct. Like, he hasn't accepted that she's gone. I don't think I would accept that somebody's gone until I saw that they were gone. Does that make sense? I wouldn't accept that my family's gone until I see that they're gone. And he hasn't yet seen that his daughter's gone, so he's not accepting it. And I completely understand where he's coming from. I'm going to continue playing.
Contacts through the collection agencies that are really good friends of mine, and we started tracking this. So I initially went and got cadaver
It's going to be
dogs
bad.
and went to the landfill early on in this investigation. And at the beginning, they gave me we had about a 4 or 5 acre window. This landfill is over 100 acres of working space. But that does not deter us in any form or fashion. So as the investigation continued, we can proudly say that we've narrowed it down between 200 and 100 feet square. Okay. Our landfill is probably one of the most modern landfills in the state of Alabama. They have drones they fly. We have GPS trackers on the bulldozers. We have GPS trackers on the packers. We have GPS trackers on the garbage trucks. We know where they are, when they are, and how they are at all times. So
I love that. I love this agency
FBI
so much.
Enterprise
Like, I want to
Police
move
Department
there. Can I move
and
there?
all the SBI gave us a date.
I know if anything ever happens to me, they're going to figure it out.
Investigators, SBI, worked round the clock. And it was just awesome. The FBI team, the card team, was tremendous in this. So this search is going to be but we're not going to waver at any point looking for her. Now, I will say we have not put the first piece of equipment in the dirt. All we've done for the past, since February the 16th, or right after that, we've been plotting and searching. It's a 100-acre landfill. I want to ask the public to keep praying for us. This is going to take a while. I'm going to ask you for your patience. We are determined to find her. We're going to give I'm going to ask the surrounding agencies to send me personnel. We've got a team out of Atlanta coming that has found several 50-something in landfill. They're experts. They're going to show us how to excavate this. We're dialing it in. They're going to be here this week, and we will get started. We've already been started. So I want to sit here and thank the FBI, Enterprise Police. Y'all, they have done tremendous work. SBI, the marshals, our sheriffs and deputies, the investigators, Enterprise. The community has reached out and helped us in every form and fashion that we know how, and that is tremendous. So, y'all keep us in your prayers. Thank you.
Is this?
James Tarbox.
Hold on. Is this true? Wait, is this true? It says, shocking twist in the disappearance of Genesis Nova Reed. Mother Adrienne Reed may have been wrongfully accused. Real suspect could be her ex-boyfriend. Is this true? Bro, this is false. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Reggie Wade. Oh my god, look at my eyelash. It's falling out. Stop messing with them, Nicole. Alright, let's see. I should see my dog right now. Who is this lady? Wait, he took his post down. He took his post down. Wow, I just got restricted. I gotta go.